Andrew, but you lose me when you start acting petty, ignorant, and belittling of these women. If you want your message to be heard, is this tone policing? I don't know. The delivery matters.
Stop simping, Alex.
Dude, chill out.
Stop simping, Alex.
He has is that Mary?
It's a room full of crazy feminists. Let's see you do better.
I'm not a feminist.
Yes, you're a feminist.
I am absolutely not a feminist.
Oh, you absolutely are a feminist.
No, I'm not.
You're an egalitarian,
I am not a
vote
feminist.
harder feminist,
I'm
libertarian.
not a feminist.
Yes,
no, I'm
you
not.
are.
I'm not a feminist.
Then what is feminism?
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Here, let's. No, are we
I
having
don't know.
an
I'm not a
argument?
feminist.
Sit there.
Please.
Why we have the argument? Go
You
ahead.
I'm a
define it.
woman.
I'm not a feminist.
Where did Maddie go?
So I'll agree with her definition. Feminism is the movement
I'm not a
towards.
feminist. Don't even go there. You don't get to say what I am.
I just
and
did.
I'm not.
I just did.
Yeah,
it's
well,
the
you're
movement
lying.
towards egalitarianism between men and women inside society. How do you delineate from that?
I have a question. Do you think that
no.
Okay.
Anyway, so back to this. How do you delineate from that?
Anyway,
Zip it.
How do you delineate from that?
I'm not answering your question.
Yeah, that's right.
You literally just made a false claim against
I'll
me
make
that
it
I'm
again.
a feminist, and I'm not.
If
so
you are a feminist,
No.
if you okay, so I'll define
you're a purple
feminism.
penguin.
I'll define feminism.
Penguin.
yeah, I mean he's just making things
Then
up.
let's have the argument. The delineation, or we'll allocate feminism
Let's
this way.
not bring aquatic animals
Yeah.
into this
Yeah.
conversation. Go ahead, Andrew.
A feminist.
I'm pretty sure
And
you're
feminism
saying you're a
is
woman,
the
right?
movement towards the egalitarian equality of men and women. How do you differ from a feminist?
Because I'm not. I don't believe in feminism.
That doesn't tell me
believe in
anything. How do you
the
differ
traditional
from the
roles,
movement of
traditional gender roles.
egalitarianism?
Right.
That's not antithetical to feminism.
Right. I'm not a feminist.
So how do you delineate from the movement of the egalitarianism between men and women?
If you think she's wrong, why don't you provide solutions?
Why don't you let us have the argument without interjecting? Go
Because
ahead.
men provide solutions?
And women be silent while they do. Go ahead.
I've not heard you provide a single solution.
I think it's hilarious.
The solution is to, I did multiple times. I already said we should limit suffrage. We should limit the women's right to vote. We should do all sorts of different things. I gave tons of solutions. You just have a selective memory because you are interjecting again when there's an argument that doesn't even include you. Go ahead.
I'm not a feminist. I just
Okay,
told
so
you.
how do you differ
You don't
from
get
this
to define
ideology?
what I am
do.
and am not.
I get to define what feminism
no, you don't.
is.
This isn't some
then give me a
gender bender
definition.
stuff where you
Then
get
give
to
me a
pick and
definition of
choose
feminism. What is it?
what I am.
Fine. Then what is the definition of feminism? How do you differ
I don't
from
know
it?
because I'm not a feminist.
You don't.
I'm not a feminist.
Wait a
Then
second.
would you not be able to
What's
know what a feminist is if
what-
you don't know the definition?
is that a cup? How do you know you're not a cup? That makes no sense. How do you differ from feminists in ideology if it's the movement towards the egalitarian equality of men and women? Yeah, it's just nothing.
I'm not a feminist. I already
No,
told
yeah,
you.
I know, I know.
don't
You
believe.
just-
I believe in traditional roles, man and woman, marriage.
And if a transgender was sitting where
women
you are,
being
they would be like,
children.
I'm not a man, I'm a woman.
No, that's not. Look, it's not even the same. I don't even
It
understand
is
how you're
exactly
putting-
the same. So how do you
you're just
delineate then?
claiming I'm something.
Okay, so I'll just ask again so that I don't straw man any positions. Do you agree that feminism is the movement of egalitarianism between men and women?
You're wrong because the goal of feminism is to reach full equality.
Not
and
arguing
that is
with
not
you.
what
One
she
at a
wants.
time, please. Thank you.
Zip it.
Go ahead.
The which is actually crazy.
I still don't see how you are the one who made a claim.
$200.
Here's the thing. You made a claim.
You are a feminist.
No.
Wait, just let
Almost all of your talking
And I
points
backed my
have
claim up
been-
with the definition and said you
I
don't
am not a
delineate from the.
feminist.
Okay, well then give me a counter definition how you delineate from it.
Just because you think a woman should be able to vote doesn't mean you're a feminist.
Okay, great. Feminism, do you agree, is the movement of egalitarianism between men and women or not?
I would say yes.
Okay,
probably.
how do you delineate from that? That's what I thought.
She wants the preservation of social norms for men and women.
That's what I thought.
and that is not what
Do you need a
feminists want.
cigarette?
I do.
There's a little
I
cigarette
think I
break.
do.
No,
need
no,
a break after that
I
one.
think that. Good Lord. I think that for you to sit there and just claim I'm something I'm not is
You just did.
disrespectful.
I just said, is that
It's
the definition?
condescending.
You said yes. I said, how do you delineate? Nothing.
Yeah, because you didn't give me a chance to
Okay, I'll give you a
respond.
chance.
You didn't give me a chance to
Okay, I'm
respond.
giving you a chance.
Okay, because you don't know all of my belief sets.
Okay, give me the belief set that delineates from that.
on marriage, on gender roles, on the role of a man and a
Still
woman
waiting
in
for the belief
relationships.
delineation. What is it?
Okay. What?
Waiting for that delineation from feminism. What is it?
He's asking you how you deviate from that.
How do I deviate from feminism?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I believe that, women should be mothers and prioritize a motherhood role over a career, and that's one thing I think that feminists would probably disagree with.
Okay, but you would also agree that there's many feminists who would agree that that's just fine if mothers want to prioritize that.
Maybe.
Yeah, okay, so what actually delineates your ideology from the feminist ideology of egalitarianism?
That women should submit to their husbands.
That women should submit to their husbands. Okay, and are
If
they...
their husbands submit first to God.
Okay. So maybe there's... If that's true, and we'll get into that next. Now this is more interesting. So when you say submission, what do you mean?
They should submit to their husbands.
What does that mean?
Like, they should trust their husband's judgment in the home, and basically, to a certain degree, they should trust his judgment and allow him to make some of the decisions. But I think that it kind of becomes one of the things where it's not that the woman doesn't have a say, but it's that they should submit to the husband.
What if
because
he
knows
says, no, you have no say?
Well, I guess the thing you'd have to think about is his decision making in line with with what God says and what the Bible says.
Well, the Bible says to submit
If
to him.
it's something that would
That's what it says,
Well,
right?
well, here's an example. If your husband said that you should go and say do it on OnlyFans, right? Would you say that a woman should submit to that?
Well, that wouldn't be an actual Christian marriage at that point, right?
Right. So at that point, he would be
But if you're in
deviating
a
from
Christian,
what God's law
if you're
is.
in
So
a
a woman
Christian
should
marriage,
not, in that case,
yeah. If you're in a
submit.
Christian marriage, though, he's a Christian, you're a Christian.
Right.
He's not going to be asking you to do OnlyFans.
Right.
Okay, so should you submit even if he?
As long as what he's saying is
this.
in line with God,
Well,
yes,
let's say he
absolutely,
says,
and with the Bible, with teachings.
let's say he says
absolutely.
something like this. Let's say he comes to you, and you guys are discussing finances, and he goes, actually, we're just going to do everything this way, and I don't give a shit what you have to say about it. And I'm emptying out your account tomorrow, and I'm going to do what I want with the money, and you need to just deal with it. Are you going to just shut up and take that?
I already let my husband do what he wants with my account, so.
Right now, do you have your own account?
It's a joint. He's on it, and he does whatever he wants to it.
Okay, well, maybe there's a slight deviation then, which is that you'll allow for some sort of
Yeah,
submission.
allow for him to look at my phone. I look at his phone. I can do. He can do whatever he wants on my accounts.
Do you think that women should be forced to submit in marriage?
I think that women should always be able to some degree, have the right to choose and have a right of consent. Basically, a man shouldn't be able to force himself on a woman.
Yeah, of course not.
A man shouldn't be like, basically, if a man's like, I want to have, tonight, and she's like, no, she has a right to say no, right? She has a right to choose.
Do you believe that there's implied consent in a marriage?
What do you mean? Like
your husband rolls over in the morning and you're still asleep and he plows you.
Fuck.
Were you essayed?
No.
No.
But if you,
So
but
there's
if
an
you
implied
were saying,
consent?
if,
Legally, there's already implied
yes,
consent.
in the law.
if you were saying no, stop, then I would say that it was.
Okay.
As soon as a woman it's implied consent. As soon as a woman says no, it's no longer consent, right?
Okay.
Can I just ask, how do y'all's view of feminism influence your expectations for dating and marriage and all that sort of stuff?
Also,
I like that question. I like that.
I'll tie this one up
wait,
with
really
this.
quick. I'm not going to let you get away with it because you called me a feminist.
You are a feminist.
How am I a feminist?
Yeah,
Like,
because the only thing that you could come up with,
ridiculous.
the only thing that you could
Okay.
come up with, and by the way, feminists
You can't just make
also
blanket claims
also
like that.
feminists who make claims that they're Christians will also make a claim for submission. They'll say, "I'll do it within the context
not
of
true.
religiosity," but when it comes to society itself, you want to see the egalitarian movement of men and women, and you've said it over and over
I
and
didn't say
over
that.
and over.
I did not say that.
Okay, well then give me a deviation, which is not personal, but is a societal prescription.
A societal prescription. Here's what I'll say. I would say that my belief set as far as relationships go is very traditional in that I totally believe in the dynamics of the man fulfilling the male role, the woman fulfilling the female role, and those being very defined in that.
But feminists
what
can
I would
believe that
say,
too. It has nothing to do with an egalitarian prescription for society. What sorts of things do you think, as far as egalitarianism in society, would you move away from when it comes to men and women under the law or under any type of social patriarchy? Like, here's a good example. Do you support a patriarchy?
yes,
Yes?
to a certain degree, yeah.
What does that mean, though? A certain degree.
I believe that men should be allowed to be masculine and fully embrace their
patriarchy means
masculinity.
men are in charge.
I believe in traditional roles.
Yeah.
Patriarchy
Patriarchy means
chivalry.
Patriarchy means the father, right? Mm-hmm. Men are in charge.
Yes.
That's what it means. So if
Right.
men are in charge and women can't be in charge, is that okay with you?
I don't think that that's how it naturally happens in the nuclear family unit, though, to a certain degree, because women do have say in matter. They do have a say in matters. It's not that a woman never has a say in any matter.
Do you think a woman should be able to be president? I feel like that's kind of what he's asking. President, or just a large leadership role, something like that, right?
Is that what you're asking?
Are you saying that all women? This is my question. Are you saying that all
he's
women?
asking legally what
Right.
we can't do that men can't.
My question is, so you're saying, okay, so not only should women not vote, but they shouldn't be able to hold any type of a job. They
didn't
shouldn't
say
be
a
able to
job.
hold any political positions.
Political positions, no.
Okay, so why would they be expected to work and provide, which is a role that a male is supposed to perform for his family, but not be able to vote?
We don't expect them to work inside of a patriarchal system.
Okay, so you're saying the women should be allowed to work, though?
They should be allowed to work. That doesn't mean that they should have to work.
Okay, so how is that not a feminist belief then?
How is that a feminist belief? Because I'm telling you that I endorse a patriarchal system. Patriarchal systems traditionally have protected women.
If women are working, though, wouldn't that be considered the
they
job of
can
the man?
work. There could be interests that they have. Or they might need a little part-time cash or something like this. But if you contracted 50% of the workforce, which would be female tomorrow, wages would fucking skyrocket, and I guarantee you men would be making a lot more money. So the question becomes, if you're inside of a patriarchal system, the patriarchy itself is in charge. Women can't hold political office at all. They say, no, you're not allowed to hold political office, which was the tradition of the United States. No, you're not allowed to vote, which was the tradition of the United States. What's your problem with that?
Well, you realize that the United States is a corporation, right?
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. That's some
Yes, it
sovereign
is.
citizen
No,
bullshit.
it actually is a corporation.
No, it's not a corporation.
It is a corporation.
What type of corporation?
It is a corporation.
What type of corporation? Is it an S corp? Is it an S corporation?
Oh gosh. Okay, so what I'm getting at here is, so women should be able to work and fulfill roles at corporations and at jobs, but they shouldn't be able to.
I said can,
They
not
shouldn't
should.
be able to fulfill a political role in office.
Can is different than should. You realize this, right?
So
if I say should, that means ought to do. If I say can, means capable of. So yes, women should be capable of working and should be able to work if they choose to work. It doesn't mean they should work. There's a distinction between those two words. When you're living inside of a patriarchal society, what would your actual problem with a patriarchal society be, or do you have none?
My actual deviation would just be more along the lines of traditional nuclear family roles.
Why would that not exist inside of a patriarchal
Because
system?
that's not what we're seeing today. We're seeing the feminist
don't live in a
movement of today.
patriarchy.
We're seeing women pushing for young girls to never get married, to just stay sexually promiscuous and just go get a job in
We
like
don't
gender
live
studies.
in a
I thought you said we live in a
patriarchy.
benevolent patriarchy
No,
where you
I
guys
never
allow us
did.
to vote. Yes, you did.
I said
Roll
the best.
tapes.
I said the best thing about a benevolent patriarchy is that they don't use the enforcement arm to
saying
oppress
that
you.
saying the best thing about something
Stop
implies
talking
that
and
it exists.
I'll get back to you.
You just told me stop talking in the middle
Until
of my
I get
conversation
until I
'cause you got
finish
pwned
until I finish this. Anyway, go ahead.
by 19-year-olds.
Pwned?
Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous.
Here, let's move on. We got to move on, guys. We got other things to talk about.